Well, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of RJ's Game Builder Garage things, I guess. And today we're back in the good old visualized Game Builder Garage port that I've been trying to do for the past couple months, probably even ever since the game released. And yeah, so today's video is going to be more of a kind of progress report on it because I haven't done a video about it in a month. So yeah, let's get right into it. Alright, so after I finished up with the last video I did on it, where I imported all the textures, I actually put all those textures to good use, and yeah, it's all implemented in with all the messy code where it is, and this is what it actually looks like. And yeah, so if you didn't watch last episode that I did, I imported all these textures over AGTD, and yeah, everything's all working just fine and working perfectly. So yeah, a lot is currently happening, and it's all pretty much ready almost. We do have to do a bit of bug fixing before we get any further, really. We need to finish implementing because all this texture importing was a bit of a break from it. But yeah, so as you can see, all the imported textures are in and in use, and it looks pretty good. As you may know, it did have a bit of a bout with the dithering system that AGTD imposes, but you know, it's not anybody's fault except for the fact that, you know, Game Builder Garage, they give you a kind of limited palette of colors, and it actually did pretty well and came out pretty well with what it did. The only problem really is that on things like the walls and the background, which eventually when I get done with this, these walls should be moving kind of like they do in the real visualized. The only thing you can see are like the dividing lines where the texture repeated. But yeah, if we go into the actual game, unlike actual visualized, this does not have a character select. The same thing is going on here. The only problem we're really having, as you can probably tell, is the fact that, well, when the random decision maker thing decides to have random characters, it puts all three of them one by one. And more importantly, as you can see, the grass moving system is broken, so in fact that's why I haven't gotten to programming the walls yet, simply for the fact that it's effectively the same code, and in fact, as you can see, it's actually breaking the game here. So as you can see, yeah, it's still a little broken in some areas, so we do need to do a bit more bug fixing before we get it onto the general public, kind of like we did with normal visualized. It is a little bit harder to deal with because, like I said, this is Game Builder Garage where it's all 3D, and we're trying to port over a game that's effectively 2D pixel art at this point. So, you know, but yeah, it seems as though we're almost done with it. We just need to do a bit of work getting it to work perfectly. So yeah, this is the kind of animation system I had set up. As you can see, we've got all of the character things, and where I'm going to probably focus my attention on is having the game actually handle how the character will happen when the character goes and dies for whatever reason. So we do need to get on to handling that, which is kind of a bit easier said than done, because if you remember from the actual visualized, the big problem with that was that we had a menu, we had an actual game over screen in use, and well, of course that would be pointless, or not really pointless, but it would be very hard to implement here. So I'm either debating on whether I should go for trying to bring over a bare bones version of the menu in or not, which would involve just having it retry, but as it is, I'm thinking of having it where it does go to retry, because it will go back to the title screen anyways. So what I'm going to do is that, because I think I put some detection I put a destruction detector, I think I have one on there that detects if the player does get destroyed, and it can handle all these things. But yeah, I'm gonna have it where it'll be a simple matter of it's a restart, because and it's gonna be a bit delayed, so this way it can show a game over menu in like for about the 5 to 10 seconds. I'm thinking of also having it where it'll show a reset in kind of thing. The only bigger problem is that we do have to be very sparing with a lot of stuff like node on and connections. As you can see, we're kind of like halfway through our little limit there. But I'm gonna have but I think it would be way better if we went with just having like the little restart kind of thing where it'll auto restart. And in this case, it'll just probably be like, I'm thinking of having where it's like, okay, where we'll have 2 text boxes, but of course we can't do that because, well, we ran out of text boxes, which is a bit insane. It's kind of one of my ongoing gripes with the whole Game Builder Garage concept. So yeah, we do have the game paused thing. Also, when it's paused, we do need to make it quit animating or quit playing the animations, so, or at least stop them temporarily. So I'm gonna get that dealt with, which I think it has already built in. There's like a not, yeah. Okay, because, yeah, it's a bit weird. Because let's see, and... So, yeah. I guess it's another one of those things that I'll deal with on off camera, so yeah. So let's see, we got the flag, which I think is the flag that we use to... Yeah, we have that flag there to stop the time temporarily, so gravity wouldn't be a problem. So yeah, I guess it's a bug that I'll look into, because yeah, we still animate when we are, the animations are still playing when we're like that. So yeah, otherwise most of the code is working and it's there, but yeah, a lot does need to be done in order to kind of make it a functional, minimal, viable product, which was what my intent with this was in the first place. And yeah, because yeah, we get issues like that, and I don't know how the hell that's happening, but it's happening. I guess it's because of the fact that the systems that we use to generate the enemies aren't going there right. I might switch over to another system as like a little experiment off camera, but yeah. So yeah, we'll try that out. Let's see how that would work. Right, so I've kind of not really implemented it because as it stands, it's not the easiest to really deal with as it stands currently because, well, we have all of these animations already here, and it would be pretty hard to offsite them to a standalone block. But also, it's not really the best when there's like 2 coins that we want to generate or something, or we want to have 2 enemies on screen, like, or 2 of the same enemy, which isn't really the greatest to have, really. So, yeah. another big problem we need to really solve is just the biggest problem that this would really solve would be the randomness errors and stuff, because for some reason this random counter is messed up, I think. It's definitely not like a lot of the other systems that I'm used to. Namely with the thing that how we developed it was that because we were using Python and Pygame to make it, Pygame being based on SDL, it has the whole timer system that SDL has, where you can have a time and it can just go off at random, and it's timing how long in milliseconds something's happening. So if we get 970, if it counts to 970 milliseconds, it can go off or something like that, something specific. Or in some cases we can go for a random time frame. So for example, when an enemy fires, which is how we kind of do it, when an enemy gets spawned in, what'll happen is that it will generate the enemy, reset the timer, and it will generate a new random number for what time the next enemy is supposed to spawn in, or the next enemy of that type is supposed to spawn in. So we have the mushroom, for example. So that'll spawn in. So we can choose to have that each enemy and object is on a separate timer. So unfortunately this leads to a few errors where you get two enemies very close to each other and the jump becomes very impossible and it's very hard to beat without dying. So yeah, but as you can see, you got the green lizard kind of dude. It would spawn differently to that, and unfortunately it's not really the easiest to do with Game Builder Garage, because, well, this is like for generating random numbers, kind of. So what I might do instead is I might have a thing where it kind of counts in seconds, I believe, where I'm gonna have it where it's gonna, or we'll have a timer that will count in seconds, and we will kind of figure it out there. And then we'll just have these still there, but they'll be running through basically a comparator, so it'll be comparing, and if the random number is greater than what we've got, it will do the thing. And so I'm going to kind of test this little system out here, and we're going to really reset a lot of this, and I'm going to get rid of all this code because it is garbage. Alright, so I think I've got something pretty basic working. As you can see, what I've done is I have a counter, a little constant. This is not accurate to 1 second, but I mean, this is supposed to be for random generation, so it's supposed to be for RNG purposes, so it doesn't really matter, I guess, how accurate it is to a second. This isn't a nuclear clock or anything like that, so this is only a game, so we're not going to be too concerned about that. And yeah, so what had happened is that when the time is greater than the random number generator, it should be exactly what the random number generator, it should go if the timer is greater than the random number generator. And as it stands, it is not getting the memo to the coin generator, which means that it isn't really firing. And I'm also going to make it where its launch interval is like not very much. And yeah, so now when it runs, you should be able to see a coin somewhere. Or it's probably spawning a coin, but it's not doing it. And so temporarily what I'm going to do to test it out is I'm going to bring it over here, so this way it's the first thing we see. Right. So now that we're over here, yeah, there we go. It's generating a coin, and should be another coin spawning shortly, depending on whatever the random number generator chooses. In fact, what I'm going to do here is I'm also going to add in the multiplication system, because I forgot that we need that as well. And so far it seems to be pretty good compared to everything else, and it's trying to get a completely random number. And I'm also going to hook it into the system that connects it to that one flag. So let's see the result. Now we need you need the thing that says that if it's not happening, then make it multiply by 1. And so here we go. So now if it generates coins, or it should be generating a coin sometime. And yeah, there we go. We get a coin, but let's see if we get another coin. Yep, we get another coin. And yeah, it seems to be pretty random. I'm going to move this back to where it came from, and I'm going to implement it with all of the others. Kind of off camera by the looks of things. Alright, so it's kind of working perfectly. It is a little bit long between enemies, so I'm gonna kind of shorten that up. I'm not too decided on what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of doing it where it's like half of what it normally outputs, which is like 5. So yeah, there we go. 5, and there's complete random, and there we go. We've got 5, and let's try this out, and there we go. 1. Okay, so looks like they've all decided to go at the same time. But let's see if it generates not at the same time. Unfortunately, it's now generating within this gray area where there is no stuff going down and no blocks are moving, which I don't know why it's doing that, but it is. So yeah. So let's see. This is a bit weird, but it's definitely something I'll have to save for next episode, I guess, because I mean, this is one hell of a bug fix that we'd have to do. I've been trying it for ages, and yeah, and this teleporter and these 3 teleporters to test it with were pointless. In fact, I wanted to get them removed and not kept going. But yeah. But as it stands, that's probably where we're going to leave it for today. There's kind of not too much happening, but quite a lot has happened since the past month that I've been away from this and doing and traveling and all that. So yeah, so this is kind of where it is right now. It's almost ready. We just have to bug fix quite a bit, and we need to re-implement once we get our bug fixes done. But yeah, so that's kind of where it is for now. as it stands, we're pretty much almost done with this. It's been a while, but it's working. So yeah, we do have to do a bit of work with bug fixing and getting things to look more natural and look more like the original. But we're mostly there. We just need to get a few bug fixes done, and we need to get it, we need to implement things even with the moving objects and all that. But otherwise, yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. If you like what you saw, please leave a like and subscribe, and bye.